I'm tired of 9 months of social wariness, COVID restrictions, and worry about the future, my own and the future of the country. My grandchildren, all 4 of them, live in Newfoundland, and it has been a year since I have seen them. One of them has learned to talk in that year, and the other has grown 3 inches. And I have not been close enough to hug them or celebrate the changes that a year can bring in the life of a young child. I am not alone. I know that. Most of you hearing this, seeing this, will have losses too, your own personal griefs that make this year difficult, challenging, and sometimes downright sad. Even as I say that out loud, I recognize that I have much for which to be grateful, and that my issues are small compared to those who have watched their livelihood disappear or have had to stand in a corridor while someone they desperately loved dies without them there to hold a hand. All this is to say that the times are not what we want them to be. The picture you saw at the beginning is a picture of Joseph in bed, and that is the situation that Joseph finds himself in, as this story, recorded only in Matthew's Gospel, tells us. Joseph was betrothed, about to wed, and all the good news and excitement and hope that being married offers, when somebody told him, and Scripture says it was not Mary herself, but someone told him that Mary was pregnant. Perhaps it was the town gossip, just anxious and happy to stir up a bit of scandal. Maybe it was a friend taking him aside and in embarrassment and kind of in a corner saying to him, stammering out, "You know, she's got a child on the way, and I really thought somebody ought to tell you that." Joseph is hurt. He is betrayed, and he is very likely very angry. He makes the decision that Matthew records in his gospel, saying, Joseph was a righteous man and unwilling to expose her, that is Mary, to public disgrace, planned to dismiss her quietly. Dismiss meaning, of course, to call off the whole thing. Bearing his loss and his grief, he takes to his bed, turns his back on the world and faces the wall, and tries very hard to sleep. And as he sleeps, he dreams. And in the dream, an angel tells him not to be afraid to take Mary as his wife. Now the rest is a Christmas story, so you know the decision and the commitment that Joseph made on waking. But I want to focus for a second on what two millennia later might have taken from that one action. Joseph did not know Mary well enough, and what he knew did not lead him to trust her, but he trusted God. In that trust, he was willing to step beyond his own social prejudices, his own pride and expectations, to trust God's vision, something that required huge ego concessions, to give up so much and embrace a new and different possibility. Not the plan or the future that he wanted, but one that was part of God's vision. When he did that, he gave his hands and his feet, his very flesh, if you will, to something that he did not completely understand. He models to us what it means to set aside our own plans and our own hopes, and in the situation we find ourselves, to act as participants in God's plan. In this Advent 2020, we too have had to let go of many plans, our own wants, our own dreams about how this season ought to be celebrated. But if we are willing to do that, and to trust that God is still with us and that God has a plan, we will find some joy, some peace, some hope, and we too will give flesh and blood to God's plan. The card for day 5 goes right here, and it joins the others to start and take its place in making a larger picture, a picture that we don't know quite yet what it will look like, but we anticipate, just as we anticipate and hope for Christmas.